Answering your fantasy football question. Wednesday night. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's up, people? How's everybody doing this evening? Hill or Lamar? Hey, man. Yo, what's up? I would go with Lamar. I'm still going with Lamar. I think he'll suck. Gosh. Yo, what's good? Yo, what's up, Colin? How you doing, Ryan? Landy, what up? Cam Newton or Taysom Hill? I would go with Taysom Hill. Yo, what up? What up, James? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? You think Mike Williams will play? They said it was contact tracing, so there's a good shot that he plays, but he could still test positive. So we have to see. We have to see what's going on. You think Cam or Russ? I would go with Russ. Tyler, 2 L's in 1 week. Keenan Allen now, Mike Williams. Yeah, it's rough. Yo, what's up, Angel? How's it going? What's good, bro? What's up, bro? How's it going? I'm doing well. How you doing? Appreciate the $2 donation. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Is Cook playing? I don't know yet. We'll know later in the week. Javonte Williams or DK? If Melvin Gordon's out, definitely Javonte Williams. Honestly, if Melvin Gordon plays, I would go with DK. Hey, Tyler, a lot going on here. Do you think Saquon, Elijah Mitchell, DK, Devonte, and Waller play? And if not, who not? I wouldn't pay much attention to the injury report. I don't think that Waller plays this week. I'm not sure about the only other one that I'm worried about is going to be Elijah Mitchell, just because the concussion. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. I really don't know. I don't think that Waller's going to play this week. I could totally be wrong, though. What's good, bro? How's the team looking? My teams are looking pretty solid. How are your teams looking? I got to win this week. Chase, Godwin, Devonte, CD, Sib1. Honestly, I'm sitting in Jamar Chase. Just isn't happening right now. Could have had a long touchdown reception last week, but it's just not happening. Hey, so since Dalvin Cook is questionable, should I be worried for Mattison? I don't think that Cook is going to play this week. It's a Thursday night game. I really don't think that Cook plays, so I wouldn't be concerned about Mattison. Chubb sit. Depends on who else you have. Thoughts on Swift injury? Doubt he plays this week. Do you think Elijah Moore plays this week? Really not sure. We'll have to see if he's. It really comes down to him just clearing concussion protocol. Unfortunately, there's not much other than hopefully he's able to clear it. Really, I know that's not what you're hoping for, but that's basically it. Foreman, Robinson, or Guyton? I would go with Robinson. Thanks, man. No problem. I got you. I picked up Guyton just in case they both out. I dropped Jermichael Hasty just because I didn't need him. Yeah, that's fine. There's no way to rush. Yeah, I don't think that I really don't think that Cook comes back. Stafford versus Arizona or Derek Carr versus KC? Stafford versus Arizona. Always Stafford, baby. Always Stafford. And if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube right now. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. So profile, link tree, YouTube channel. Come on over, get your questions answered. And if you're over on YouTube, do me a big favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and let's get it. Play Hunt, CEH, Landry, or McLaurin at flex. I have Monty and Mixon at RB, Renfro, Hollywood at wide receiver. So I mean, me personally, I would go with McLaurin. I like McLaurin this week. I think this is a good bounce back spot for McLaurin. I would go with McLaurin over Renfro, and then I would put CEH in the flex. If you don't want to do that, then the guy that I would go is McLaurin at flex. But I do like CEH a lot this week. Dontrell Hillard or Foreman? I would go with Foreman. Would you start Freeman or Hillard? Freeman. You do not understand how happy I was to see Kamara fully practice. Yes, I know. I can't wait. I love Kamara. Does Monty have a serious injury? Is he just banged up? No, he's fine. I mean, I think he's fine. We'll see. Tannehill or Big Ben this week? Got Hurts on bye. I'm going with I don't think Julio's been officially. If Julio plays, I would go with Tanny. Otherwise, Big Ben. Well, you're not going to know. I think that this is a good spot for Big Ben. To be honest with you, really, I like Big Ben this week. I know I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a little bit of a homer. But I like this game. And right now, the Steelers are underdogs in this game. Give me the Steelers. I like Big Ben here. This pick 3. We got Darrell Henderson, Josh Jacobs, Javonte Williams, Chuba Hubbard, or Kareem Hunt. I would go with, really depends if Henderson plays this week, if he's practicing full. Darrell Henderson, Josh Jacobs, Javonte. If Darrell Henderson does not play this week, then Kareem Hunt. Amir Abdullah, Russell Gage, and standard scoring. I know they're bad options, but I got hella guys on, but I would go with Russell Gage there. Is MG3 back this week? I'm not sure. Here from TikTok, Zeke or Jamaal Williams. I would go with Zeke, especially because you have Tony Pollard who did not practice, and they signed somebody to the practice squad, which is a little concerning. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Clay? Full point PPR, sit 1. We got Gibson, J-Rob, Monty, Mitchell. I would go with J-Rob unless obviously Mitchell doesn't play this week. Devonte or Van Jefferson, assuming Gordon is back, I would still go with Javonte. Aiyuk or James Robinson, depending on his. Let's see how he practices this week. Of course, when I play the worst team in my league, all my players go down to injuries. You'll still win. You think Najee will ever see 19 targets again this year? No, not a chance. No way. No way. No running back should ever see that. Henderson fully practiced. Awesome. Great. He should play this week. Then fire him up. Pick 2, we got Monty, Saquon, Jacobs. Monty and Jacobs. Amari Cooper, James Robinson. I would go with James Robinson. You think Mattison is going to do good this week, even if Cook comes back? No, I don't feel great nearly as high on him as I would be. Like, I honestly think that Mattison could be RB1 this week against the Steelers. Like, I think the Steelers win, but still every team is running for 200 against them. So I think that Mattison could easily be RB1. How bad does Edmonds returning hurt Connor? It hurts him a decent amount. It knocks him back down to being like a lower end RB2 kind of touchdown dependent. But I think this week is a really good spot for James Conner because I don't think that Chase Edmonds is going to come back in and play 100% of his snaps. So I still think it's okay for James Conner this week. You like Najee and Justin Jefferson tomorrow? Absolutely. Pick 2, we got Zeke, Kamara, Henderson. Zeke and Kamara. Claypool, Jerry Jeudy, or Mooney, Jerry Jeudy. Gage, Jarvis, Aiyuk, pick 2. I would go with, honestly, I really like Jarvis this week. I'm going with Jarvis and Aiyuk. Chuba or Foreman? I would go with Chuba Hubbard. McLaurin or Crowder? I would go with McLaurin. Yo, what's up, Alpha Jerk? If Mitchell doesn't play this week, who do I play? Saquon, Renfro, or Hilaire? Honestly, I have Clyde higher. I'm going Clyde. Aiyuk, Claypool, Cooks, or Julio, pick 2. Aiyuk and Cooks. Do you think Mitchell plays this week? I'm hoping. Unfortunately, I don't have any insider information, so I'm not sure if he's gonna play. Had Edmonds on IR, solid. How do you feel about Mitchell or Michael Gallup now that Cooper and Lamb are back? Is he still worth starting? I wouldn't. It depends on who you have. I don't like him as much, especially with Amari Cooper coming back, and I highly doubt he's on a snap count again. I think he's going to be fully back. But I still think that Michael Gallup has potential. It depends on who else you have. Should I trade Godwin for Justin Jefferson? Absolutely. Say if Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both can't play, would you play Jerry Jeudy or Guyton? I'd rather go Jerry Jeudy. Appreciate the streams. Chuba, hey, appreciate it. I don't cap. You don't cap either. D-Hop or CEH, full point PPR, have decent running back started. I would go with CEH. I really like CEH this week. I think this is a great spot for CEH. If Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are both out, is there any Chargers wide receiver worth a pickup? If you're looking to play him, the one guy that I would want to play would be Guyton, just because with Josh Palmer, you're probably going to get a low floor, like a decent floor with him, but not a very high ceiling unless he scores a touchdown. It's going to be more like Keenan Allen, like a very poor man's Keenan Allen, where with Guyton, it's more of a more Mike Williams, where you're going to get that boomer bust, and I'd rather just have the boomer bust. But if you want to be playing him, I wouldn't pick him up. And real quick, if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. So profile, link tree, YouTube channel, come on over, get your questions answered. Is Denver a top 5 defense this week? Yeah, absolutely. Knox or Gronk this week? I'm firing up Gronk every single week. I must win this week. Who should I trade Swift for? I need wide receivers. Really hard to say. Just look for a team that looks like they're going to be in the playoffs, that maybe already have the playoff spot guaranteed, and go try to trade Swift to them because they're more likely to trade with you. Candy or Burrow? Burrow. Teddy or Jimmy G? I'm going with Teddy. You talking about UCH doing good is scaring me because I play him and Javonte this week. Oof. I really like both those guys. Zeke, Pollard, or Javonte? I would go with Javonte. Yo, Alpha Jerk. Thanks for the help this year. I love the vids. Appreciate you, Alpha Jerk. Alpha Jerk's one of the true OGs. Has been here for a long time. So W's in chat for Alpha Jerk. Appreciate you with the $3 donation. Thank you very much, man. Yo, what's up, Tyler Daddy? How are you? How was your day today? My day was good. How are you, Saklan? How you doing, my guy? Lamar, Taysom, Lamar, Amari Cooper, Gallup, Amari Cooper. Do you think Mitchell plays this week? I really hope so. I really don't know. It just comes to him clearing concussion protocol. Unfortunately, sometimes that takes a little bit longer with some players, but we've seen players get over it in a week. So it just comes down to how he's feeling, unfortunately. No other information other than that. Claypool or Tevin Coleman, he's dealing with a concussion as well. So I would just go with Claypool if it's between those two. What do you think about playing Jamaal Williams in my flex this week? I think it's solid. It depends on who else you have, but I still think that he's basically a top 20 running back this week just because of volume. Do you think Montgomery will play this week? I do think so. Guyton or Gage? I'd rather go with Gage. Just safer. Thoughts on Monty this week? I think that Monty, I think I have him inside my top 10. He's a borderline top 10 play for me. Top 12, I think, is where I have him. Yeah, like top 12 is where I have him. Do you see CH 20 plus? 20 plus is a lot of points, but I definitely think he's going to be like right around 15, maybe more. Is Jamaal Williams worth it? Thanks. No problem, Alpha. Thank you. Jamaal Williams worth it to start? Yeah. Depends on who you have. If Mike Williams plays and Keenan Allen doesn't, would you start Mike Williams over Chubb this week in full point PPR? Yeah, I would. In full point, yeah. Hopkins or T Higgins? T Higgins. As long as he's okay. He didn't practice today, which I'm not really concerned about. Tomorrow's going to be the big day. Let's see if he practices. I really hope so because I have T Higgins in a bunch of my leagues. Javonte Williams or Aaron Jones? If Melvin Gordon is out, I would go Javonte Williams. Otherwise, I'd go Aaron Jones. James Robinson or Nick Chubb? Nick Chubb. Is this a fair trade? Devontae Foreman and Jamar Chase for Antonio Gibson and Jalen Waddle? I mean, I'd rather have the Antonio Gibson side for sure. I'd full send it, though. I'm going against Claypool tomorrow. Any chance he busts tomorrow? I really don't like Claypool. I think he's kind of not that good, personally. Hopkins or T Higgins? Once again, T Higgins is as long as he's okay. Tyler, what you eat today? What did I eat today? I ate some chicken noodle soup, homemade chicken noodle soup. That was it. That's all I ate. It was good. Mike Williams play this week? We'll have to see. He should, as long as he doesn't test positive for COVID. He should be able to. He should be good. T Higgins or OBJ? T Higgins, expectations for Josh Jacobs this week in PPR. I view Josh Jacobs as a I have him like as a back end RB1. Yeah, I have him as a very high end RB2, back end RB1. Dropped Ingram, COVID, and grab Guyton. Will Guyton start? Yeah, so I envision Guyton being in on the two wide receiver sets with Keenan Allen. Once again, we don't know if these wide receivers are going to be out. It looks like Mike Williams is the most likely to play with Keenan Allen. Not sure, but he could play as well. But I would envision Guyton being involved. He's outsnapped Josh Palmer a lot, basically every single game this season. So I envision him being involved in the two wide receiver sets for this team this weekend. Hey, Tyler. Yo, what's up, MK? How you doing? Would you call T Higgins the wide receiver 1 on the Bengals right now, or still the wide receiver 2? Over the past few weeks, he's definitely looked like he's been the wide receiver 1 on this offense. I still think that Jamar Chase has a little bit to go. I think, the beginning of the season is absolutely crazy, and he's definitely slowed down. But I still think that there's a ton of potential there with Jamar Chase. He should be much better than T Higgins throughout his... Well, should be better. I shouldn't say much better. Should be better than T Higgins throughout his career. It's just he's a rookie. He's in the wall kind of a little bit. He'll get it going. I am starting the Titans defense at home. Is that a good play this week? Got outbid on the Packers. I think the Titans defense this week is good, yes. Got out for Javonte for DJ Moore, keeping Jay Will, right move, right? Yeah, I would. Pick 3, we got Eckler, Kamara, Patterson, Javonte Williams. If Javonte Williams, if Gordon is out, I don't know if Gordon practiced today. Does anybody know if Gordon practiced today? If he's out, I would definitely go with Javonte Williams, and then who were the other ones there? Eckler and Kamara. But if Melvin Gordon is back, I would go with Patterson over. Would you play Freiermuth over Claypool or do I go Tony? I I would just go with Claypool. I just think there's a higher ceiling with Claypool over those other guys, and about the same floor, especially this week against Minnesota. So I like Claypool. AJ Brown expectations when he comes back. I would say, you know, I really liked him a lot as a wide receiver 1 this year. As long as he's healthy, he is. It's just the biggest thing for him this year is healthy. If he's healthy, he's a wide receiver 1. Gronk, Hubbard, or Edmonds at flex, full point PPR, definitely Gronk. I need a wide receiver 2 this week with all my buys. KJ Osborne, AJ Brown, or A-Rob, Treadwell, Tim Patrick, Guyton, or Crowder. If you have both these wide receivers in the Chargers out, then I would go with Guyton. But you won't know. I would just go with KJ Osborne. Keenan Allen is vaccinated, so there's a chance the dude is usually healthy, so I hope for the best. The dude is usually healthy. You're saying usually healthy when he has COVID. He does have a chance though. Hi Tyler, yo, what's up, Daisy? Hubbard, Edmonds, or Hillard? I would go with Chuba Hubbard, or I would go with Edmonds as long as he's playing. I would go with Chase Edmonds. Gronk, Hubbard, or Edmonds at flex. I would go with Gronk. Where is the Sunday night game? Lambeau or Chicago? I think it's in Lambeau, right? I believe they're home. Packers are home. I could be wrong though. I want to say that they're home though. Tyler is that man. Appreciate it. Thank you. No, you're that man. And if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do, Gordon practice in full. Dang it! Oh, Javonte Williams season over. No, he's still a really good play. But yeah, in Lambeau. Okay, it's in Lambeau. Saints D or Panthers D? Saints D. Appreciate you, bro. No problem. Thank you. Pick one. We got Lockett, Van Jefferson, or Hubbard. I would go with Lockett. D-Hop or AJ Dillon. I'm going with D-Hop. I got to check the injury report. Ask me that question tomorrow. I got to check it. If Allen is out, would you start Gallup, Van Jefferson, or Guyton? I would go with Van Jefferson, honestly. Bless you, Tyler. We lit this week. Let's get it. We need to win this week. A lot of people, their playoffs start next week, maybe the next week, depending on how many teams you have in the playoffs, but let's get it. Do you think Elijah and Higgins are playing this week? I really don't know. I can't really answer that question. With Elijah Mitchell, it just depends on if he's able to clear the concussion protocol. Really, it just comes down to the player and how they're feeling. So we won't really know until, really close to game time probably, unless he clears before that. With Higgins, got to see tomorrow. He did finish the game, which was good, but he was definitely limping out there when I was watching the game. So we got to see. Lamborghini? Who's the Lamborghini? Skirt? I don't know what they say. Tyler, go to bed or get a snack. Get a snack, obviously. Thanks, bro. You're welcome. If Keenan Allen is out, would you start Gallup, Van Jefferson, or Guyton? I got that one. Van Jefferson. Get a snack. It's definitely not great, but there's a chance you win. Did he? What was that? Did somebody say something? I must have missed them. Who said that? I must have missed what he said. I didn't see it. Oh, right there. Okay, I did not see it. I'm sorry, MK. I did not see your question. Okay, my lineup: Murray, OBJ, McLaurin, CD, Eckler, Aaron Jones, Muth, and Chuba against Herbert, Kamara, Jefferson, Diggs. Ooh. Mark Andrews, Landry, Gage. Oh, that's not that bad. How screwed am I? I don't think it's that bad. Like Landry, I do like Landry, Gage, and Dillon a little bit here. But they definitely could have lower weeks. I like Aaron Jones, Eckler. You have Aaron Jones, Eckler. I do like OBJ as well. Like I think that your team's solid. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. Sorry about that. I missed your question, not question, but what you said as well. You think Mark Sanchez plays this week? I think he's going to be great this week. Absolutely. Standard scoring: Ricky Seals, Austin Hooper, or Higbee. I would go with Ricky Seals to clam. Pick 2: Monty, Hubbard, Zeke, Saquon. Monty and Zeke. Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon? Aaron Jones. Freiermuth or Higbee? Freiermuth. AJ Dillon or Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones. AJ Dillon or Kareem Hunt? Flex, full point PPR. I would go with Kareem Hunt in full point PPR. Thoughts on KJ Osborne? I mean, he's okay. Like, it depends on who else you have. What was Julio's ADP going into the year? Way too high. Definitely a guy I was not drafting, and I was telling everybody not to draft. Probably the 4th round, I would say, is probably where he was going. Would you personally start CEH over Seclan? Yes, I would. Over Saquon as your RB2? Yes, I would. Freiermuth or Fant? Freiermuth or Higbee? Freiermuth. CEH or Gibson? Gibson. Is Devonte Adams going to be okay? Yeah, I think he'll be okay. When he said Jefferson and Diggs, wait, oh, was it not Jefferson and Diggs? Yeah. Well, I was like, oof. Because yes, they also had Kamara. I was like, Herbert, Kamara, Jefferson, Diggs. Ooh. But then it got better. Mark Andrews, yeah, he should have a decent game. But then Landry, Gage, Dillon, yeah, I mean that's okay. But I like, I'm assuming you have probably McLaurin in your flex, and Chuba, OBJ, like that's solid as well. I like that. I like that squad. It's gonna be a good game. Joe Burrow or Cam Newton? Joe Burrow. Would you personally? I already got that one. I have Murray, Gibson, Kamara, Devonte, Kittle, Godwin. Ooh. Who you got versus Fournette, Zeke? Ooh, that's also. I don't know. Did Debo practice today? Do we know if Debo practiced? I did not check the injury report today. No, Debo was sidelined still. I don't really check the injury report on Wednesdays. Tomorrow's going to be the big day. Russell Wilson or Taysom? Russell Wilson. Elijah Moore's stock increased a ton with Gibson or with Davis gone. Not really, because like I love Elijah Moore. You already know me. I've talked about Elijah Moore a ton. I talked about him. I said in the preseason that I really think that there's a chance Elijah Moore could be the best wide receiver in this draft class. I think that honestly, and I've you can go look at his draft profile. I mean, honestly, as a Steelers fan, I've watched plenty of Antonio Brown, and Antonio, that's exactly who he reminds me of. He reminds me of a young AB. His route running ability is that good, but unfortunately, he plays with Zach Wilson, who's been terrible. Zach Wilson is the person holding him back, not Corey Davis. He's light years ahead of Corey Davis skill wise already. Already in his career, he's light years ahead of Corey Davis. Guyton or Aiyuk or Allen or Williams out. I would go with Aiyuk. I don't think Debo is going to play this week again. So I would go with Aiyuk. Wow. So you would start CH over appreciate as always, fan. Keep the grind. Go Steelers. Go Steelers. Let's get it. Debo did not practice. Yes. So I don't know if he's going to play this week. I really don't think he's going to play. Cam Newton or Big Ben? I would go with Cam. Should I worry about starting Darrell Henderson? Should I bench him for T Higgins? If Darrell Henderson is practicing in full now, I would go with Darrell Henderson. Watch a Joe Mixon go off this weekend against a harder defense than he did last week. That's honestly what's probably going to happen to Clan, honestly. Debo, no practice today. Yes, so I'm a little worried about Debo. Are you sure I should start Kyler over Rodgers? This is a very poor... Listen, I'm never sitting Kyler. Like, I will start Kyler every single week. I don't care who Kyler plays. Like, he showed it last week. He had 15 passing attempts, and he was one of... Who was the highest scoring quarterback last week? I don't know who the highest scoring quarterback was. I got to look at it. He was definitely up there, though, I would say. I would say he had to be up there. I'm going to check it right now. Let's see who the highest scoring quarterback was last week. Was it him? Fantasy. Oh, shoot. I put him week 14. 13. Yeah, he was the highest scoring quarterback last week. Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm never going to start a guy that's like Aaron Rodgers is great. Don't get me wrong, but Kyler Murray, just a rushing upside. And he was the highest score. Just think about that for a second. That's why these quarterbacks are, that's why they're called Konami cheat code. Because Kyler Murray attempted 15 passes, yet he was still quarterback number one. If Aaron Rodgers attempted 15 passes, is there any chance that Aaron Rodgers would ever be QB1? Simple answer. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's why these quarterbacks are cheat codes, like your Jalen Hurts, like him, like Lamar Jackson, because they don't need to throw the ball to do well. They don't need it. That's a bonus. That's your ice cream. That's your cake, and you're eating it. Yeah, the other part is the rushing upside. That's where the money's made. Mac Jones was the highest scoring quarterback. He was a beast. Well, I felt bad for him. That'd be such a boring game. You're just turning around. I mean, hey, he's bought in. Hey, bro, you said to ask tonight. So what do you think, CEH or Montgomery in my flex? I do have Montgomery a little bit higher than CEH, so I'm going with Montgomery. And then Dallas or Titans defense, I'm going with Ooh, I got to double check that. I probably did say I'm going with the Titans defense this week. Titans defense. Do it, Ronald. Where's Ronald at? Trade CH, Freeman, and Aiyuk for Cook. My other running backs. My other running backs are Lenny, Taylor, Lamb, Higgins, Julio. I guess I don't know. I really don't like trading for Dalvin Cook, to be completely honest with you. But if you want to do it, go for it. Matt Judon low-key flamed him. Oh, did he? I didn't see it. Dang, Tyler, I've seen you read like 3 questions right next to me. Yo, I got you. I got you, fam. Pick 2. We got Kareem Hunt, Cordell Patterson, Javonte Williams. Gordon did not practice, limited today. Chuba Hubbard. I would go with pick 2. I would go with I'm going with Cordell Patterson and Javonte Williams, regardless of even if Melvin Gordon is back. Landry or Russell Gage? Landry. I like Landry this week. Conklin or Jared Cook? I would go with Jared Cook. I think that Jared Cook gets more value here with Keenan Allen being out. Man, I'm in a must-win week because my league changed the rule from points forced to head-to-head. What? Like, on the season they changed it, right? Best fantasy defenses for playoffs. I made a TikTok about it. I think it was... Like, this is under 50% rostered. Obviously, if there's other defenses out there that are higher rostered, obviously they would probably be higher. But like the Titans are one of them. The New Orleans Saints, the Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, and I want to say the Miami Dolphins were up there. I can't remember who exactly. Those were some of the defenses, though. Do you think David Montgomery will play this week? Yes, I do. Hawkinson, Schultz, or Conklin? Hawkinson. Would you start Guyton over J-Rob or Saquon? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't get cute. This isn't the time of the year where you get cute. Thank you, Tyler. You're welcome. What's wrong with Cook? The shoulder injury. Just like for me, it's just Dalvin Cook has not really been that great this year. Like because he's been constantly like banged up, and that's the thing with Dalvin Cook, and that's why for me, like somebody on my TikTok, when I made the TikTok about next year's draft order, was like, wow, there's so much recency bias in this, and it's like, okay. Fantasy football is not the game to live in the past. If you live in the past in fantasy football, you're going to take last place. You got to be able to adapt every single week, readjust, and get players ranked in the correct order. Now, sometimes you definitely overrank players, you underrank players due to week to week. But fantasy football is not the sport, not the game, not the whatever you want to call it, to be caught in the past. You get caught in the past, you're dead. You're done. You're done. Okay. Dalvin Cook, 27 years old, injury history, a lengthy injury history. No way am I drafting him next season. And with this shoulder injury, that's been a problem in the past for him. The same shoulder. To me, that's not good. That's not somebody that I would want to be trading for. For CEH, he's come back. He's healthy now. Plays on a really good offense that's been using him a lot and has been solid. So that's just my take. And then there was also other guys. Aiyuk, you could still have Debo out. I know Aiyuk hasn't been great, but still, like, if you want to go for Cook, I mean, totally go for it. It's kind of a risky, in my opinion. Asked earlier, but missed the answer. Saints D or Seahawks D? I would go with the Saints D there. Saints D. Freeman or Chuba? I would go with, I think I have Freeman. I got to double check. Freeman. Where do I have Freeman? No, I have Chuba Hubbard higher. No, do I? Where is Freeman? I must have, no. Freeman will be higher. Devonte Freeman. There's no way that I didn't add him on here. I really didn't add him. Well, good thing you asked about that. Yeah, he's going to be higher than Chuba. He's going to honestly be one spot higher than Chuba. So I would go with Devonte Freeman. Happy Wednesday. Full point PPR. I have Schultz or Pitts. I would go with Schultz there, or I would go with Pitts. Honestly, let me double check this. I need to double check. We're getting to about that time. I'm going with Dalton Schultz. I'm riding with Dalton Schultz. I'm going with Dalton Schultz. Dylan, Hubbard, or Foreman. I'm going with Dylan. over those guys. Thanks, my guy. No problem. Flex one, we got Henderson, Barkley, Connor, Emmons, OBJ. Only one of those guys. I would go with Henderson as long as he's good to go. Miami's defense got New York Jets next week. Yeah, that's a good defense as well. I live in the future. Lions Super Bowl bound, baby. Oh, yeah, right. Here's the matchup this week. Playing Brady, CEH, J. Will, DK, OBJ, Dillon, and Pitts. I got Josh Allen, Eckler, Najee, Justin Jefferson. Yeah, you should win that. I mean, I do think their teams are right, but you should. Hey, bro, came for TikTok. Would you start Guyton over Gallup this week if one of Allen or Williams plays? It would be really close. I'd have to look at my rankings here. Let me see. I still think that I would go with Gallup. It's going to be really close, though. Yeah, if Mike Williams plays, I would go personally with Gallup. What's up, brother? How do you feel about Mike Evans this week against Buffalo? I think it's going to be a tough matchup, but I would still play those guys. I find it very hard to move them down my ranks just because this offense is so good. So it is a tougher matchup, but there's also Tre'Davious White who's out. The Buffalo defense didn't really get tested against the pass this past week. They got ran over for 200 plus yards. So I think that's going to really hurt them. And this week against the Bucs, this is going to be a great test for them. So I think there is going to be a beatable matchup. Tyler, when are we going to grab a bite together? When are you going to be in Phoenix? Maybe next year. I'll try to go down for a game. It's going to be about that time where I think Pitts will be droppable pretty soon. Maybe. I wouldn't drop him this late in the season. I would just hang on to him, but definitely not startable. Cameron Wilson. I would go with Wilson. If Keenan Allen doesn't play, Jerry Jeudy, Mike Williams, if he plays, or Landry. I would go with Mike Williams if Keenan Allen doesn't play. Saints or Packers defense, Saints defense. Cooks or Jerry Jeudy, I would go with Jerry Jeudy. Cook, Gallup, or Kareem Hunt at flex. I would go with, honestly, I'm going with Brandon Cooks. Hasn't been great, but with Davis Mills being the quarterback, here comes that 30+% target share. Just force feeding Brandon Cooks. I can't wait. Can't wait. Boston Scott, can't wait. VOH, FYI. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Would you start Tyler Higbee or Nick Fant? Noah Fant? I would go with Noah Fant. Battle of the Kickers, Gay or Prater? Gay. Pick 2, we got Zeke, Elijah Mitchell, Mattison, Aaron Jones, then Gronk or Andrews. Gronk, and pick 2, I would go with Mattison, and I would go with Elijah Mitchell if he plays. Otherwise, Aaron Jones. Honestly, I would go Zeke. Okay, actually, here's the roughest thing, okay? When I was looking at the running back rankings, there's just this big group of guys of like David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs, Cordell Patterson, James Conner, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Saquon Barkley, even like Aaron Jones to an extent. There's just this massive group of guys that I don't really know what to do. Like where to really rank these guys. Like I have it down already, but it's just all these guys are so close this week. And I really like some of these matchups. They have some really good matchups as well. So, but if Tony Pollard doesn't play, Zeke practiced in full today, I would be playing him. Fan or Pitts? I'm still going with Pitts there. I wouldn't play Fan over him personally. Julio or Osborne? If Julio plays, I would go with him. So D. Carter, Duvernay, McLeod. Oh gosh, Rondell Moore available in my league. I only have 2 wide receivers rostered, Diggs and Deontay Johnson. Should I drop my backup quarterback and pick up one of these guys? No, unless it's like a super deep league. I mean, sure. Honestly, I'd rather just, hope to God one of my players don't get hurt and have to pick up one of those guys, personally. I want to pick them up. Start 2, we got Chubb, Lockett, Javonte Williams. I would go with I would go with Chubb and looks like Melvin Gordon's gonna play this week. If Melvin Gordon plays, honestly, I'm going with Lockett. D-Hop or OBJ, D-Hop. Dallas going down this week. I think Dallas going to win. Do you have a high ceiling waiver? A-team PPR, A-team here. Guys are available. Who are some of the guys? MK? Good luck, brothers. I hope Cook has a big week. I need to win the playoffs. Let's go, Cook. Pick up Devonte Smith. If you need, if you're going to play him, sure. This is kind of I made that video about just dropping guys that you don't really need. Devonte Smith would be in that group of guys where you really need him. Like if not, then I wouldn't pick him up. Is Mahomes replaceable at this point? And if so, where is the cutoff? I mean, I wouldn't be like, I think that if you have Aaron Rodgers, you know, like still a top tier quarterback is really what I would say. Other than that, I wouldn't be playing him over like guys I would be playing him over, or I would be playing over him, you know, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford. And then at that point, like there's nobody else that I would play over him. I wouldn't try like a Taysom Hill or somebody like that. I wouldn't do that. Haters gonna hate. Yo, hell yes, a clan. I have both those guys. What's the clan? I think Cardinals are at home. It's gonna be a shootout between the Rams D. OBJ gets a long TD and Kyler has 4 total touchdowns. Kyler should be a stud this week. I hope so. James Robb or AJ Dillon? James Robb. Sit 1, Osborne, Gage, Julio, Mooney. I would sit Osborne. Play Hunt or Osborne at flex if Mitchell is out. I would go with Hunt. Have Chuba and Najee at running back. Yeah, I would go with Hunt there. And honestly, I would go with Hunt over Chuba personally. Chargers or Broncos defense? I would go with the Broncos defense. You already have to get down there to Arizona to meet James Conner because we all clip. Yo, no, James Conner, well, he's from where I live. I'm from Erie, so he comes back here all the time. So that's going to be I got to think about how to really try to get in contact with James Conner. Maybe hit him up on the social media. I don't really know what, and show him the clip. That's what I should do from my news station. I don't know what social. Does anybody follow James Conner? I don't follow James Conner. I don't know if he's active on any social media. I'd have to look into it. Mahomes is killing me. They have been not very good offense. As good as they should be. Claypool is a good play this week. It depends on who else you have. Imagine taking a team that barely won against Taysom Hill over a team on a 4-game win streak. Barely won. That game was not that close. That game got closer at the end, but that game was not that close. We're starting Wilson, or should I pick up like Hill or Newton? I would go with Taysom Hill over Wilson personally. Gibson, Keenan Allen, Chubb, Saquon at flex. Gibson. Mattison, Zeke, Gibson, Montgomery, Edmonds. The first 3, Mattison, Zeke, Gibson. The last place team just dropped all their plays, including who should I pick up? Oh, that is raunchy. That's so lame. Somebody dropped all their players. The commissioner should step in there and do something about that. But if, like, who would I pick up? Definitely Scary Terry. Taysom Hill or Rodgers? I would go with Rodgers. AJ Dillon or James Conner? James Conner. Zeke, Pollard, AJ Dillon or Jamaal Williams? Zeke. Go to the juice bar. He goes there when he's here. The juice bar? He's at the juice bar? Really? I'll go hit him up. Tyler, you should create a team to track down James Conner. All right, you guys are my minions. Let's track down James Conner. We got to find out where he's going. What's he doing today? What is he eating? What his favorite show is. So that way when I talk to him, I have something to talk about. Tyler, dude, how wild was the collar bomb guy when all that happened? Oh, yo, yeah, that show was on Netflix. I was too young to really know what was going on back then. I remember my mom was on Peach Street that day that happened with the pizza bomber. My mom and my grandma they were on Peach Street that day, and there like everything was blocked off basically. There was a massive wait, obviously, because you had, SWAT teams there and everything with the whole bomb situation. But I was too young to really know what was like. I knew what was going on, but not to the like. I don't really fully remember everything. I was just a little bit too young. No one take my one take for next year. Deontay becomes a wide receiver 1, either Russ or Rodgers. Oh, I would love if one of those guys goes there. Absolutely. Foreman, Chuba, Osborne, Aiyuk, Kirk, Edmonds, Guyton, Freeman, pick 2. I would go with Aiyuk and I would go with Edmonds if he comes back. James Conner, Elijah Moore, James Conner. Pick 2, PPR. We got Patterson, Renfro, or KJ Osborne. I would go with Patterson and Renfro. I have Barkley, Javonte Williams, Najee, Sony, but I need a defense. If Henderson is back this week, is it safe to drop Sony? I wouldn't, but is there nobody else to drop? I wouldn't feel good about dropping Sony, but I mean, if you need obviously somebody to play, like you got to do it, but there's nobody else. Wilson or Hasty if Mitchell is out. Did Wilson practice today? I don't know if Jeff Wilson practiced. Had a flare up during the loss. Shorthanded 49ers work out 3 running backs. I think it's unlikely that Jeff Wilson plays this week, so I would go with Jamichael. Robinson or Monty? Monty. Do you think Tua has a good enough playoff schedule to play all 3 weeks? Like in a deeper league, are you saying? They have a decent fantasy playoff schedule. Fournette or Gibson? Ooh, that's going to be really close. I'm going with Antonio. Well, if J.D. McKissick is out this week, I would go with Antonio Gibson. If he does play, I would go with Leonard Fournette. Mohamed Sanu went to my high school and middle school. Did he really? That's cool. That's cool, MP. Best last place punishment for last place you've seen. I mean, me personally, just stuff on the internet is kind of what I've seen. Like, what are some of the... Somebody said the other day that they have to drink a smoothie and everybody puts in an ingredient. It has to be edible in the smoothie. It has to be edible and something that can't send you to the hospital. But there's still a lot of stuff that is technically edible that would be disgusting in a smoothie. So I would say that's a pretty good one. But it depends. I know, always trying to scope out his favorite meals. Seclan is always. Tyler, do you do dip? Do I do dip because you look like a skull guy? No, I don't. I don't do any. I rarely drink. I don't smoke cigarettes or anything like that. I don't dip or anything like that. I don't do that kind of stuff. I'm a pretty straight edge guy. I play video games. That's what I do. Claypool, a good play this week. Pittman on bye. He's all right. It just depends on who else you have. Jacobs or Mitchell this week. If Elijah Mitchell plays, Elijah Mitchell. Westbrook has a 4.29 40-yard dash. Just found that out. Yeah, but Russell Westbrook, isn't he? He's so overrated. What's your top 5 running backs this week? My top 5 running backs? Who are my top 5? I have Kamara, Eckler, Mattison, Najee, Joe Mixon. Those are my top 5 guys. Just saw Friday Night Lights, the movie for the first time. That movie's really good. That movie is really good. Longhorn Steakhouse tonight. I wish. I had some chicken noodle soup. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a slow cooker roast, so I'm pretty excited for that. I would love to go to Texas Longhorn. Although I will say, to a certain degree, I will say this about going out to eat. It is a little bit overrated. Now, obviously, I don't really like to cook, but when I'm in the mood to cook, there's nothing better than a home-cooked meal. I'm telling you. To a degree. If you're going to a high-end restaurant, like some of your fancy restaurants where you're getting, $30 a plate, but that shit is bussin', as the kids say. It's bussin'. Now, that's definitely worth it. But, going to, Texas Roadhouse, sometimes that shit is just, so meh. I could cook a steak pretty well and also don't have to pay, $50 for a really good steak. I still can't get over yet a burger at a steakhouse. Yo, bro, it's a steakhouse, sure, but it's also isn't really that good of a steak. I mean, it's Texas, it's Longhorn. It's a chain restaurant. That's not that good of a steak. Go to your local high-end restaurant and get a steak there. That's a steak. Now that's a real steak. Can I drop Ertz? I have Gronk. Yeah, definitely. Who would you bench out of Connor, Javonte, Chubb, and PPR? If Melvin Gordon plays, I would bench, honestly, Javonte. I do think that this is going to go back to a split. You sound 30 with the comparisons going out to eat and talking about his grill. Yo, there's nothing better than cooking on a grill. I am 30. I actually turned 30 this year. So that's a really good call. I turned 30 this year. But I mean, just like cooking, like if you're cooking a real meal, there's nothing better than that. Unless you're going to like, once again, like a, $50 a plate, or, Texas Day Brazil. Now that shit is bussin', as the kids say, bussin'. That stuff is, Texas Day Brazil is amazing. I love Texas Day Brazil. Grilling is the best. I will say this definitely shows off my age now. Smoking. I love to smoke, not smoking, any kind of that paraphernalia kind of stuff. But smoking meat, like actually, on a real smoker, that is my favorite thing. One of my favorite things to do. I love, and oh my gosh, it's so good. So good. What's the worst punishment for last place in fantasy? Let us know, guys. What's the worst punishment for last place? Let's hear it. What have you guys maybe do in your league? Maybe have heard about other people doing in their leagues. What do you guys think? Pot? No, definitely not that. When you turn 40, you gotta do the Mike Gungy rant. What is that? Which one is that? Which one is that? Which one was his? I forget which one his was. Can't remember. CEH or Gibson? Gibson. Amari Cooper or Gallup? Amari Cooper. Dak or Taysom? Dak. I got Cook, Thielen, Carter. Should I try a trade or just hold till they're healthy? I clinched already. I would just hold till they're healthy. Buzz cut. What's buzz cut? I got a buzz cut. They had to get a buzz cut for the loser. Ooh. What about a bowl cut? Now that would be brutal. You got to get a bowl cut. Ugh. My league loser has to do the hot chip challenge. Ooh, I would not want to do that. I love hot stuff. I'll eat jalapenos raw, but I'm not quite there on my hotness. Like, I'm sure that's really hot. My league, no, I got Kamara, Mattison, Deontay, CD, Kittle, Gibson in a must-win versus Herbert, Zeke, Connor, Hopkins. Yeah, I think you should win that matchup, I would say. If you don't, I think that's an upside. Maury Mattison at flex. Mattison. I don't know if he puts me up on terrible numbers. I'll be mad. Who are you talking about? Who you got? Landy and MP. MP's probably talking about Gibson. Huh? Just turned 29. Sounds like my convos with the boys talking about Traeger's and Blackstone's comparison. Yeah. That's what's up. Smoking some meats. That's what you do when you're 30 years old. You smoke some meats, you play video games, you hang out. You're quite not as young as you were anymore. You're starting to feel a little bit different, but you're definitely not old. Like at 30 years old, I definitely do not feel old. Like a lot of people will say, "Oh my God, you're 30?" The young kids, you're 30? Like, believe me, when you get to 30, it's not that bad. 30 is really not that bad at all yet. I still feel really good. And I'm not the healthiest human being out there. What do you think about Brandon Cooks for this week? I think this is a good. I think it's honestly, it's a tougher matchup on paper against Seattle, but I think it's a good bounce back spot for him with Davis Mills as the quarterback this week. Bro, I can't even eat hot Cheetos. Luckily, I should be in the playoffs. Bro, you can't eat hot Cheetos? What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't eat hot Cheetos, my guy? Come on. Hot Cheetos are delish, although they have Red 40, which Red 40 is absolutely terrible for you, so don't eat them. But they are delish. Osborne, Aiyuk, Julio, or Gage? I would go with pick two. I would go with Aiyuk, and I would go with Julio if he plays this week. I clean streams. I hate people who smoke in the camera. I like clean streams. Yeah, I've never been a fan of smoking, to be honest with you. I never really, like, even like cigarettes, if anybody out there smokes cigarettes, I mean, hey, I just don't like it. Ugh. I hate, anyways, whatever. Fantasy football. He's trying to convince me that Gibson will put up high numbers, but I don't know. I think Gibson will have a really solid week this week. Yeah, he will. You're still a youngster. Thank you. The Giant, the 415 Giant. Appreciate that. KJ Osborne or Claypool. I would go with. I'm gonna go with Claypool. Out of Williams, Evans, Chase, and Hopkins, who do I trade for a running back since CMC is out? I mean, I think that you could trade them all. Like, it's really hard to say who, but what I would do is I would just look for a team that needs a wide receiver and start sending out trade offers. Moore or Mattison? Mattison. Non-PPR, Julio, Hilliard, or KJ Osborne. I would go with Julio. It's okay to have 4 guys in one game. I got Murray, Prater, OBJ, and Edmonds. Yeah, that's completely fine, MK. That game should be one of the higher scoring games of the slate, so that's completely fine. Would you drop Javonte for CEH? No, I wouldn't. Moore or Mattison at flex? Mattison. Cigarettes are gross. Hopefully nobody in here smokes. Last place guy has to get his eyebrows. Ooh, that is a rough one. Eyebrows completely waxed off. Ugh. Oh, man, that would be terrible. I would hate that. For last place for ours isn't really that crazy. They have to buy all the beer for the next draft. They have to dress up as a commissioner, like in a suit and tie. They have to personally hand the trophy to the guy, shake their hand, take pictures with them, and then has to do the whole draft, has to announce the picks. They also have to do the draft board, so they have to, take all the stickers off, put up all the stickers, and then they also get a toilet seat as their trophy. They get a toilet seat, so that's ours. So there's a lot of different things. It's nothing crazy, but yeah, the beer is the nice part though. That way you don't have to buy anything for the draft, and you just chill with the boys. That's what I'm saying. I have a bad habit of smoking my phone. That's a good one, Seclan. Loser in my league has to eat a burger at a steakhouse. Yo, bro. I'm never going to live it down. All right, next time I go out, I'm going to get... Yo, listen. For all those people out there that don't have kids, you don't understand how expensive dinners can be when you have kids, especially when you get an appetizer. You got to always get an appetizer. Then I get a little salad on the side. I need a little salad, a little Caesar salad, maybe a garden salad, depending on what they got. I got to pay for that too. You got my wife's dinner, you got my dinner, then you got the kids' dinners, which are like $6, even though they're chicken nuggets and French fries. Like, what the hell is that? $6 for that? It gets to be like $70, if you get a drink as well. It's like, oh my gosh, $100 out to eat with the family. So sometimes I'm a little bit conservative, all right? And I don't want to pay for a steak that's $30 and make my bill $100-some, and I just want to get a burger. Can I live my life? I need a 50 bomb from Kamara. It could happen. It's unlikely, but it could happen. Would you drop Javonte for CEH? Someone dropped him. No, there's really nobody else to drop for CEH. There's nobody. Nobody? Stafford versus Arizona or Dak. I would go as I'm going with, honestly, Stafford in that game. In that game. Hilliard or Jamaal Williams? I would go with Jamaal Williams. How do you feel about giving Chase for Gibson straight up, since I need a solid RB2 and we still have... Wait, how do you feel about giving up Chase for Gibson? Oh, I would do that, definitely. Definitely. If you're getting Gibson, absolutely. I would do that. Absolutely. I have Brady, Cup, Kelsey. What do you think? I mean, that's really, really good. I think that, a lot of people laughed at me, okay? I want to talk about this. A lot of people laughed that I put Cooper Kupp at 3, possibly. Now, did I overreact a little bit? Really, initially, I talked to some of my friends, and they kind of talked me into putting Kupp there, which I shouldn't have listened, because what I had it like Austin Eckler at 3, and then I had Cooper Kupp. I guess it's 1 spot difference. But I do think that Cooper Kupp definitely belongs in the conversation as one of the top tier picks next year. Definitely in the first round. Like, if you're not drafting Cooper Kupp in the first round, who are you taking? Tyreek Hill? Devonte Adams? Questionable quarterback? Who's going to be the quarterback? Like, it should be the same team next year with Cooper Kupp. He's already been a top 4 wide receiver with Jared Goff in the past. And now he gets the best quarterback of his career. And we're seeing what Cooper Kupp is. Cooper Kupp in full point PPR is probably going to outscore Jonathan Taylor this year. Like, for me, Cooper Kupp is an incredibly first round draft pick next year. When after, really for JT, after that, I don't feel great about a lot of the guys next year as I'm looking at it. Like, I really don't like I would love Javonte. Like, really what I want is a later first round draft pick, because I'm going to have probably Javonte there. I'm probably going to have Antonio Gibson, DeAndre Swift. I really don't want an early round draft pick next year because I'm most likely going to probably land with Cooper Kupp is what I'm looking at. I really don't want to take Austin Eckler. I don't really want to take Joe Mixon. I don't really want to take one of these other guys. I'd rather take Najee. I would take Najee just because a younger running back, a bell cow in his offense. That's just my take. Kupp is from my hometown, so I got to support him. Let's go. Is Mooney is a good flex? He's all right. Let's see. When are we starting the dynasty stuff up? After the season, we'll start it up. We'll start it up after the season. Take a little hiatus after the season, probably like a week hiatus. Not going to post any content. And then I'm going to get back into it and start, creating content basically every single day once again. But once the season's over, probably going to take a little hiatus. Get that all set up during that week. I'll be doing that. I'm not going to worry about creating content during that week, but I'll get all that stuff ready, which will be really easy. And then we'll fire it up. Boom. Fire it up, baby. Bing bong. Man, this week is so nerve-wracking. This time of the year is always so nerve-wracking because it's win or go home, baby. Win or go home. Cam at Atlanta or Lamar at Cleveland. I would still go with Lamar. Taysom Miller, Lamar Jackson. I'm terrible at fantasy football. I got rid of Jefferson and traded Kupp and Najee Payne. That's rough. That is rough. It's okay. We all make mistakes. I traded Najee away this year. I hope I'm happy after Mattison Deontay play tomorrow. You should be. I think they're both going to have really good weeks. DK or Odell, I would go with DK or Odell. DK, that's crazy. 2 people right in a row asked it. Taysom or Lamar. Rate this squad. We got Cam, Carr, Wentz, Tua. Why do you have so many quarterbacks? Is this, I'm assuming, 2 quarterback super flex league, I'm assuming. Eckler, Kamara, Patterson, Javonte Williams, Devonte Adams, Renfro, Gronk. I think that's really solid. Any suggestions? No, I think that's really good. I think that's, I would say a solid A, especially in 2 quarterback league. Those are decent quarterbacks to have the really good players that you have at the other position. They're manageable quarterbacks where you play matchups. Thoughts on my bold predictions? Kyler 1, QB 1 this week. Brady and Allen combined for 70 points over under. So they're over. Alexander Mattison has 100 yards and a TD. Godwin finds the end zone twice. Jets beat the Saints. I think that's solid. Except I'll say Mattison gets 200 yards this week. The Steelers ain't stopping them. Yo, Cam with the $5 donation. Yo, appreciate you, Cam, with the $5 donation. We got pick 3. We got Cooks, Aiyuk, Elijah Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sony Michel, half-point PPR. With Darrell Henderson looking like he's going to play, I want to go with Sony Michel. I would go with Cooks, Aiyuk, Elijah Moore. So Cooks, Aiyuk, Elijah Moore, pick 3. And appreciate the $5 donation. Thank you very much. Who do I flex from Mark? We got CD, Deontay, Gibson, or Montgomery. That's tough. Honestly, I might go with Deontay. It's really close because I would want to go with Antonio Gibson. Did McKissick practice today? Was JD McKissick back at practice? Not practicing on Wednesday, so he did not practice. So if he doesn't practice again, honestly, I'd probably go with Deontay, Mark. Taysom or Matthew Stafford this week, I would go with Taysom Hill. Do you think I should run Stafford versus Cards, or should I take him? I would go with Stafford. Absolutely Stafford. What is the better trade? Straight up, Jamar Chase for Antonio Gibson or Chase for Monty? Chase for Gibson, I would say. I would want Gibson. Is me getting Fournette and Landry for CEH and Mooney? Yeah, I'd rather have Fournette and Landry side, yes. Let's see. Cortland Sutton or Michael Gallup? I would go with Michael Gallup. Just better team, better offense. Gibson will be a top 3 running back. Gibson is a stud. Gibson is absolute stud. Did you say? Oh yeah, because you have Gibson. I would love to go Gibson, Mark. Honestly, I would really love to go Gibson. Why is Yahoo so low on Mattison this week? I'm assuming they probably think that what's his face is going to come back. Cook. That's probably why they're so low. Where if Cook is ruled out, Mattison will probably go up to like 18, 20 points. Thoughts on Robinson and Zeke for the rest of the year? Well, Zeke practiced in full today. That's a good sign. Just these guys need to get healthy. That's the biggest thing right now is just they're not healthy. So hopefully they can get healthy and be solid RB1s once again. Elijah Moore or Amari. I would go with Amari. San Francisco has a good fantasy playoff schedule. They do. They do. If Williams can't go, Osborne, Gage, or Julio. I've been saying Julio. I'm going to stick with Julio. This is really close. If Julio gets activated, I would probably go him, but it is close between him and Gage. Taysom or Brady, Javonte or Darnell. I would go Javonte, and I would go with Brady. Thoughts on Keenan rest of the season? Really solid. I would say high-end RB or high-end wide receiver 2, back-end RB or wide receiver 1. Pick 3, we got Claypool, Gage, Dillon, Foreman. I would go with Claypool, Dillon, Foreman. I think JD coming back doesn't impact Gibson anymore. He's garnetted. Guaranteed 25 plus touches a game. Ron Rivera rested Gibson today and said Gibson gets better with more touches. I'm expecting a huge workload for Gibby. Gibson over Swift in 2022 mock draft. Where's the love for your boy? Yeah, I do love, don't get me wrong, I love Swift, but I do love Gibson. I love Gibson last year. And I really think if there's no JD McKissic, Gibson is like the true workhorse back on a pretty solid team. Like this team should be pretty solid next year. I love Swift. Don't get me wrong. I do think Gibson's a better player than Swift. I think that Gibson's just a better football player than Swift, unfortunately. I think the sky's the limit next year for Gibson. I really do. Jamar CD. Kamara playing the Jets. I hope to start him. He's going to play this week. I would say he plays. Speaking of that, I already did change that. Lamar, bro. Kirk Cousins or Lamar? Yes, Lamar. Jamar, CD. And what are we at here? At an hour in the stream. Go live here for a little bit longer, then I'm going to hop off. Oh, there we go. We got our classic spam back in here. Yo, appreciate MP. MP was fast on that. MP was quick on that, boy. Yo, if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. Get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. So come on over, get your questions answered. Thoughts on Robinson and Zeke for the rest of the year? Once again, if the biggest thing holding them back right now is health. If they can get healthy, they'll be RB1s. But if they can't get healthy, like mid RB2s right now with these guys. Zeke did practice in full, so that's good going forward. And you had Tony Pollard who missed practice, and this team signed somebody to the practice squad in RB. So it's a little concerning for Pollard right now, but Zeke, if there's no Pollard, fire him up as a rock solid RB1. I traded Cup for Henry, and it's a 3-keeper league, so I can keep Kamara, Cook, and Henry. Is that a fat W? Yeah. I mean, I like that. Absolutely. When did you start liking Gibson this week? I've always liked Gibson. It's just I've talked about it plenty. The biggest thing with Antonio Gibson has always been JD McKissic. Without JD McKissic, Antonio Gibson has top 5 potential. I've always said that. I've always been a big fan. My league has one where you shave your head and wear a onesie and walk around Princeton. Brutal. I won 5, went from last to 4th. Oh, that's good for you, MP. If McKissic is healthy, what tier is Gibson in? So, what tier is he in? Like, more for me, like back in RB1, high in RB2, is where I would say Gibson is. When McKissic is healthy, is how I view him. I trade Cup. I would say more of very high end RB2. Is Gibson going to be the best running back in the AFC next year? NFC next year? Who are some of the guys? He'll be one of them for sure. He'll definitely be one of them. Swift. You still have, obviously CMC and Cook, but he'll definitely be one of them. Robinson, Renfro, or Knox at flex? Robinson. Devonte Freeman or Jamaal Williams? Jamaal Williams. Trade Cup for Diggs, DJ Moore, and James Conner. RBs are Zeke and streaming RB2. Trade Cup for Diggs, DJ Moore, and James Conner. Yeah, I guess I would do that if like I would hate to give up Cup, but if you really are desperate right now and you need depth, yeah, I would do that. Mike Williams or Hollywood? Mike Williams, as long as he plays. Taysom or Rodgers? Rodgers. I've got Connor, Chubb, and Gibson. That's beautiful. Will Henry play week 17? Somebody just dropped him. I don't think he's going to come back this year. I really don't think so. I don't think he's going to come back. Robinson or Renfro at flex. Robinson, man, I just want this week to be over. We want this week. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow night. Steelers. You better bet the line on the Steelers. +3. Spread. Deontay Johnson over receiving. I'm going to have a parlay for tomorrow night. I'm going to have a parlay. I'm going to get a little parlay put together. I'm definitely drafting Deontay in the first round next year. I'm really high on him next year. I think Deontay is going to be an absolute stud. As long as he has a solid quarterback. Love Deontay. I hope Seattle game wasn't a fluke since Gibson had 7 catches when JD was in the game. He did get a catch after JD got injured after that. I think it was a little fluky, to be honest with you. But I think that there's definitely a lot of, still a lot of volume there for Gibson, but I think that 7 catches is a little fluky. That's a lot for a running back in general. J-Rob and Clyde or Lockett and Clyde. I would go J-Rob and Clyde. Williams, Hubbard, Zeke. Start 2, Zeke and Williams. Do you think KJ Osborne will do good tomorrow? He'll be okay, like meh. A lower end wide receiver 3 is kind of what I view him. What do you think of Miles Sanders for the rest of the season? I like him. Poor guy just can't stay healthy. Like when he finally gets good work, he's banged up, unfortunately. I would say like an RB, lower end RB2. Skull? Nah. Pittsburgh, yo, and I guess, Ozai, we can say this right now. There's my upset pick of the week. Unless you want me to do just Sunday, which we could do that. But my upset pick right now, Pittsburgh, +3. They're +3 right now. Man, I need your boy to go off in Mattison. They should both, I think they should both have really solid games. Go Steelers. Let's go Steelers. I'm going to make a TikTok. When I start to get more followers on TikTok that are Steelers fans, I'm going to make some Steeler hype videos. I was thinking about it today. Like, at least I don't follow any TikTok people that are Steelers fans. I don't really know who is. I haven't seen anything with like a renegade. Oh mama. Yo, let's get one of those hype videos in here. What do we do with James Conner now? He's a lower end RB2 is what I would say, like a kind of a touchdown dependent RB2. I do think this week is a good week for James Conner because I think that Chase Edmonds coming back. I don't think he's going to see his full complement of snaps this week, but after that he probably will. So he'll probably revert back down. But still, he's a solid, I would say, lower end kind of touchdown dependent on RB2. But we've seen with what's his face? Kenyon Drake last year. He was a top 15 wide receiver in fantasy. The team that tied the Lions versus the team that lost the Lions. Yo, let's get it. They did lose the Lions. Yo. I am a little surprised that they're 3-point favorites though. Like, I think that 3 points is kind of a lot for a team that just lost to Detroit and really a team that hasn't been that good this season. Against a team in Pittsburgh, sure, they haven't been that great either. But I don't think the Steelers have been as, I don't want to say that Minnesota is bad because they are a good football team, but just Minnesota finds ways to lose, like every single week. It's always a new way to lose. So I find that they're 3-point favorites. That is a decent amount. I was surprised by that. Aiyuk or Osborne? Aiyuk. Clyde or Terry? I would go with Terry. I like Terry a lot this week. I think he's going to bounce back. Pick one. We got KJ Osborne, Chase, Claypool, Darnell Mooney, or Jerry Jeudy. I would go with Jerry Jeudy. Miles Sanders or James Conner rest of the season. I'd rather have James Conner. Just better. It's at Minnesota. It is at Minnesota, yes. Pick up Guyton after COVID for Chargers wide receiver. Guyton over AP or Breida, right? Yeah, I would. Yes, over those guys. It's at Minnesota, yes. Do I start James Conner over Chubb, Hollywood, Gibson, or not bother? I'd have to look at my, let me see here. I got to get my flex ranking pulled up here. I might put him over, who was the guy? I forget who the guy was. Who was the wide receiver? I would put him over the wide receiver. I forget who it was. Hollywood. I would put him over Hollywood, yes. I would go James Conner over Hollywood. Dave Montgomery or James Conner? Dave Montgomery. Deontay carry incoming. Deontay's a carry every single week. The dude's amazing. Thoughts on James Conner with Chase Edmonds coming back? Once again, like I do think this week is going to be a solid week for James Conner because I don't think that they're going to just put Chase Edmonds back in there in his normal role with the full complement of snaps yet. So I think this week's going to be good for James Conner, but after that, he's going to be a touchdown-dependent RB2. Right? Pitt it is, man. Which defense this week? Green Bay, Cardinals, or Chargers? I'm going with Green Bay. I would go with Green Bay. I do think that those are all solid options. Other than I wouldn't play the Cardinals, but Green Bay and Chargers, I would go with Green Bay though. Taysom, Burrow, or Cousins? I'm going with. Ooh, that's close. That is close. Let me check here. Ranking. Honestly, I'm going with Taysom Hill. Jamaal Williams or Herbert? If Montgomery is out. Jamaal Williams or Herbert? Oh, definitely Herbert. I would definitely go Herbert. I'm a Browns fan. It's been a rough year. It has been. I think that I mean, definitely for the Steelers too. I don't think the Steelers are really that good. I don't think the Steelers are very good. To be completely honest with you, as a truthful Steelers fan, I don't think the Steelers are very good. All right. I think that they're worse than what their record shows. I think that the Browns are definitely I think the Browns are better than the Steelers, but it's just been one of those years. What do the Browns do next year? Do they sign Baker Mayfield or do they let him walk? Bro, when aren't you live? They ain't paying you enough. Yo, I'm always live, baby. Actually, I'm not that live. A guy that's always live is the Fantasy Flock. That man is insane, but that man is probably pulling in a lot of dough. Hey, Tyler, hope you're having a chill night so far. Yo, what's up? Should I play Brandon Cooks or Kareem Hunt in my flex spot? I would go with, I'm going with Brandon Cooks because with Davis Mills coming back, I do think this is good for Brandon Cooks. I thought that Tyrod Taylor coming back would be good for Brandon Cooks, but I honestly think that Davis Mills, because he's just going to pepper Brandon Cooks with so many targets. So as long as it's PPR, I would go with Brandon Cooks. Devonte or Henderson. Browns just haven't played consistent. No, they haven't. 100%. And Steelers play down to the competition every single week. You know, the Steelers are playing a good team this week. Yo, the decent Steelers show up. Steelers are playing Detroit this week. The shit Steelers play. I don't know, Tyler. I have an urge to pick up Devonte Williams against the Lions and start him over Gibson. Devonte Williams. Oh, yeah, he's playing the Lions. I forgot about that. If you want to, go for it, Landy. Go with your gut, my guy. TB12 or K1? K1. Defense starting. Saints versus Chiefs. Oh, Saints versus Chiefs versus Broncos. I would go with the Saints there. Yeah, I'm Horn 3D defense prevent my opponents. Hey, that's smart, especially this time of the year. Do that. Gage or Cooper? Cooper. What's the latest on David Montgomery? I want to pay attention to really today's injury report. Ask me tomorrow. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. I wouldn't really pay much attention to today. Honestly, I would not. Amari or Terry? Terry. Honestly, I'm not sure. I love Baker, and he's been hurt, but I think there is other issues besides him. Coaching has been tough this year, in my opinion. It's just, what do they pay Baker is the biggest thing. Like, that's the biggest struggle right now with some of these teams when they have quarterbacks who aren't, you know, top-tier quarterbacks that want a good amount of money. Do you pay these guys? Do you let them walk and try to get somebody else? What do you do? That's going to be the biggest thing for some of these teams coming up. TB12 or K1? K1. James Conner, Miles Sanders, rest of the season, I would go James Conner. Van Jefferson or A.J. Dillon in the flex, I would go with A.J. Dillon. Kyler versus the Rams, or do I get cute and play Cam versus the Falcons? Nah, play Kyler. I talked about this early on the show that Kyler this past week had 15 passing attempts and was still quarterback number 1 this week. That's why you play Kyler every single week, because the man is an absolute freak of nature in fantasy football. Play him. Will Kamara play this week? Yeah, I think so. Kicker debate. Bunker, Carlson, or Gay? Are you saying for this week in fantasy football, I'm assuming? Who's the first one? Is it Butker? Is that who you're saying? I would go with Matt Gay. It is close between those guys, but I would go with Matt Gay. Is Hasty a good option if Sony Michel is out? Yeah. And if Jeff Wilson is out? Yeah, he is. Will Kamara play this week? Yes. Yeah, you can't give him $30 million by the way he's performed for this year. One of the best rosters in the league, and he can barely win. If Browns had Herbert, we'd be insane. Absolutely. Absolutely. Browns need to fire Joe Woods, too. He is not it. Who is that? Their offense is he their defense coordinator? I forget which one their defense coordinator, yeah. Their defense is stacked with talent. They really are. Big week of Godwin after a 15 reception week. I think this week's going to be a tougher week. I do think it's going to be a tougher week, but I would definitely not be sitting them. But not going to be a 15 reception week. You know what I mean? Would be insane with Herbert. They would be insane with Herbert. Thank you. You're welcome. Used to support the fantasy flock. Love his content. Just got too big to not answer your questions. Rather support this channel with good feedback. He has like 7,000 Patreons. Makes more than me. Yeah. No, I mean, hey, I appreciate it, obviously. But definitely, like, I will say, and I've said this, for basically the whole year, I really don't think that there's a YouTuber in the fantasy football space that works as hard as Mason does. And he definitely deserves everything. That dude is insane on YouTube. Next year, he just needs to build up TikTok. That's the only thing. I do think that he's missing out on TikTok a little bit, but what's he care? When he's pulling in, honestly, he's pulling in a lot of money. I guarantee it. A lot of money, not just through his Patreon, but also his ad revenue. He's probably pulling down a ton of money. His sponsorships, his affiliates, he's probably pulling down so much money. The next thing he needs to do is he needs to create a true product, and he's probably going to be a millionaire. Maybe he could already be a millionaire, to be completely honest with you. My opponent has Thielen and Keenan Allen. Needless to say, I scooped up Guyton as fast as I could. I already have JJ. Yo, that's Super Saiyan Hazard. That's the way to be, baby. Yee, defensive coordinator. Our defense is very stacked. Yes, they are very stacked. The Browns defense is very good. Foreman or Hillard from the Titans, I would rather go with Foreman. I think that Foreman is the guy that you want. I do like Hillard, but with McNichols coming back, I think that is more of a factor for Hillard rather than Foreman. That's just my take on it. And if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. So profile, link tree, YouTube channel, come on over, get your questions answered. Just wait 5 years when I come a professional athlete and come back, donate thousands to you and help you meet everyone. Hey, there we go, Landy. I'll be waiting for you, my guy. Because you don't give up on me after being this annoying. You're not annoying, my guy. You're good. You go make the pros, and then you can come on the show and we talk fantasy football. That sounds tight. And also let me know. Let your friends come on the show when you become a pro as well. What are you going to become pro in, Landy? What do you think? What sport? Herbert versus the Giants or Hill versus the Jets? I would go with Herbert. Actually, if there's no Mike Williams, I would probably go with Hill. But if Mike Williams is going to play, I would go Herbert. Joe Brady to Pittsburgh. I do think that the Steelers, I'd say regardless. I don't think this team is going to, I really hope this team is just kind of falls flat for the rest of the season. For that reason. I hate to be selfish for that, but I just hope that they clean house. Other than Tomlin, I think that Tomlin has done enough. I just don't think that Tomlin's really that great of a X's and O's type of coach. Personally, in my opinion, I think he's a really good player coach, but when it comes to the X's and O's, he needs really good defense coordinators, and Keith Butler just isn't that. That's why you have basically Tomlin, who kind of runs the defense right now, and Keith Butler is trash. So I hope they both get really good offense coordinators and defensive coordinators. That's why I loved when the Steelers had Todd Haley. I could not stand when everybody hated Todd Haley, because Todd Haley, say what you want about Todd Haley, but back in those prime years, Todd Haley was a really good play caller. He was not a good head coach, but he was a really good play caller. And that was when you saw Ben at his best. He also had AB, but Ben was the best when he had Todd Haley. Was phenomenal. And the Steelers need really good coordinators. So I sure hope so. James Conner will be the first. Yo, let's get it, James. I'm honestly going to reach out to James Conner this offseason. I'm really going to. You can Take that to the bank and deposit that. James Conner will be on the show at some point this year. Take that to the bank, deposit that, baby. Let's get this channel to the moon. Come on, boys. Well, it'll get there. Believe me, it will get there. Patterson or Josh Jacobs? I honestly, I think I have Josh Jacobs higher. You gotta look at this. It's really close between him and Patterson. Don't lie. Josh Jacobs. I love Josh Jacobs this week. I think the Browns will hold on to Baker, though. I hope they don't, for you guys. I really hope that they don't. You think Debo is going to play? I don't think he's going to play this week. Hopefully basketball. Don't worry. I ain't going to the Lakers with Westbrook and yeah. That's funny. Patterson or Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs. Aiyuk versus the Bengals or Gallup versus the... Gallup versus the who? You mean the Washington football team? Come on, my guy. Come on, man. I would go with Aiyuk, though. Gage or Kirk? Gage. I don't have Nick Folk this week. I'm scared to start Gay. Let's go. Matt Gay is going to be good this week. I'm telling you. If Henderson is healthy, does he take the lead back? Absolutely, yes. He'll be the lead back. I shouldn't say absolutely. He certainly could not work out that way, but I really think that he's going to be the lead back. Hyder Foreman is RB2. I would definitely go with Foreman. James Robinson or Patterson? Patterson there. You think Debo will play? I really don't think Debo is going to play. Hill or Murray? Absolutely Murray. You fire up Murray every single week, baby. Bang, bang. Bing, bong. You see these dogs out in your front yard, whatever they say. Gosh, that stuff is getting annoying. Is that not annoying everybody else? I swipe up all the time when I see that stuff. I think it's annoying, personally. Do I start Elliott? Yes, I would. Is that Tifu? Is that the real Tifu? I start on varsity as a sophomore, so hopefully I'm successful and work my ass off. That's what it's all about. Work hard, baby. Put in the work. You devour. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look at all these, references. Also, if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. So profile, link tree, YouTube channel. Come on over and get your questions answered. I also hope we don't hold on to Baker. He has done some great things for us, but I think that there's much more he can do now, and we definitely need to get someone else if we want to get to the Super Bowl. I agree. But this is the tough part of being in that situation. Do you go with somebody who's been reliable, somewhat reliable, right? He definitely has his moments where he's not good, but also at times where he's not good. He's not consistent, but at least he's not Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins. Do you take the risk? Like, what do you do? Because if you try to pay for somebody, like somebody that's actually decent, well, chances are they might not be able to really afford it. It depends on how much they're going to be. I think a guy like Jameis Winston this year is going to be really interesting to see how much he's going to want. Also, Jimmy G is another guy. But at that point, would you rather just have Baker over Jimmy G or over these guys? Or do you try to draft somebody? Like, what exactly do you try to do? Cook playing tomorrow, I have Mattison. I really don't think that he plays. I mean, who do you think the Browns go for? I mean, obviously Russ or Rodgers, but don't think that's very risk. Yeah, also, that's the same. That's exactly what I said, is like, what happens? I run a 6 mile as a sophomore so I could play football too. Keep going, baby. Keep getting that work in. Let's go. Same, Dylan. I don't think he does, though. Gage or Cooks? I would go with Cooks. Matt Ryan and Davis Mills, 2 of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I would go with Cooks. KJ or Edmonds? I would go with Edmonds. I know because I'm small AF. What, for football? Thoughts on Kamara this week? Yo, he's my RB1. Fire him up. Love him. Lockett or McLaurin at flex? I would go with McLaurin. Playing both if he doesn't. Yeah, I would go with McLaurin there. Steelers should trade for Jimmy G. Well, is Jimmy G not a free agent next year? Or can they cut him and not like lose money? I got to look at his contract. What does his contract look like? I thought he was going to be, maybe he won't be a free agent, but I thought maybe no, next year is 2022. Yeah, next year they can cut him and they only have $1 million in dead cap. So he's not a free agent next year, but they can cut him next year, $1 million of dead cap. So I think that's probably what they do. Love the channel. Always share with my homies. Yo, appreciate it. Much love. Appreciate everybody hanging out as well. Aiyuk or OBJ if Debo doesn't play? I would go with Aiyuk. Actually, I would go with OBJ. Honestly, I would go with OBJ. As long as he's practicing. If he doesn't practice again, I don't feel great about him. But if he's practicing, I would go with him. If Waller is back, Josh Jacobs will still be a good start. Absolutely. Lockett or McLaurin at flex, I would go with Lockett. Steelers should trade for... I already got that. I'm kind of behind, I guess. Claypool versus Minnesota or Aiyuk. I would go with Aiyuk, personally. I think Russ or Rodgers or draft. Kenny Pickett would be my pick, but don't think we can get him. I think the Steelers do. I honestly really hope the Steelers don't get Kenny Pickett, to be completely honest with you. I think that he's going to... Do you think that Kenny Pickett's going to be a first-round quarterback? Like, that's the biggest thing. Do you think Kenny Pickett will be drafted in the first round? If he is, I absolutely do not want the Steelers to draft. Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not draft Kenny Pickett. I played football for 10 years, tore my ACL senior year in state finals. Still mad about that. Yo, that is rough. Feel bad. One of my best friends in high school, he wasn't going to be that great of a football player, but freshman year tore his ACL, and then senior year tore his ACL. Hit the other ACL. Felt absolutely terrible for him. Patterson or Aaron Jones? Honestly, I'm going with Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones. If Akeem Hicks is out too, fire up Aaron Jones. Facing Waller. What do I do with Justin Herbert with no Allen and Williams? I think Williams going to play. If he is not out, I am going to move Herbert down my rank. But if Williams going to play, which he could, I do like Herbert. Just depends on your other options. Pick one: Lockett, Moore, Gibson, or Hilaire. Gibson. Who do you want? I don't want the Steelers to draft anybody in the draft. What I would really like them to do, I wish they would have done it this year. Now, maybe it wasn't in play, but I really wish they would have signed Jameis Winston. I would love for them to get Jameis Winston. Get Jameis Winston. If you can't get him, Jimmy G. Obviously, top guys would be like, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, but I don't think that's realistic for them as well. I would love Jameis Winston. Please get one of those guys. Do you think Henderson will play? I do think Henderson will play. Who should I start Mitchell over if Henderson doesn't play again? Over Elliott or Aiyuk? Aiyuk, definitely. Tyler, what's the worst record you've had in fantasy? Someone in my league is 2-11. I feel bad for them. Honestly, I think, and I'm not kidding. Now, like in leagues that I've actually paid for, now sometimes like this year I'm really sticking on top of it because I want my overall record here to increase and my win percentage and actually finish in platinum. Because years past I just like drafted the max amount of leagues you can in Yahoo. But then I like lose interest in the leagues and I don't pay attention. My teams ended up doing terrible. But this year I'm actually doing decent, pretty well. But the lowest that I've had in a league that I actually paid for, I think was like the least amount of wins was either 4 or 5. I want to say 4 or 5. I can't remember. One year it just was like all my players got hurt that year. Like literally everybody got hurt. I forget who I even had on my team at the time. I can't remember who exactly it was, but it was a rough year. I didn't draft that well, to be honest with you. It was just a rough year. I know you're not big on college football, Tyler, but Bama again. That's your upset pick or what? Or they're going to win it? What are you saying about them? Wait, is there a chance Allen plays or just Williams? They both can play. They both can play. Just depends on... I don't think that Allen's going to play because he actually has COVID. But Mike Williams was more contact tracing, so there's a better shot there, but he could definitely test positive as well. What about Marcus Mariota? Nah, I wouldn't want them to get him. I don't want Marcus Mariota. I already see Marcus Mariota. I mean, I guess I'd rather have Marcus Mariota over what's his nuts? Helmet boy, Mason Rudolph. I'd rather have him over him. I really don't want Mason Rudolph. Reynolds, Palmer, Slayton. Please pick 2 of these miserable options. I would go with Reynolds and Palmer. Mooney or Javonte Williams? Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams or Chuba Hubbard? Javonte Williams. Elijah Moore or Michael Gallup at flex? I would go with Elijah Moore. My trade deadline was today. Just traded Terry Sanders, Freeman, and Mooney for Reek and Booker. The guys I traded were pretty much depth. W or L? W. Danny Dimes. Honestly, I would not mind if the Steelers got Danny Dimes. If Danny Dimes was a free agent next year, I would not mind them getting Danny Dimes. I don't think Danny Dimes is very good. but I do think that he's better than Mason Rudolph. And also, I just don't think he was given that fair of a shake. I don't think he's good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's kind of gonna be the same thing with like Sam Darnold's situation where I just don't think he's very good. But I don't think he was given that fair of a shake on New York. New York sucks. If Jameis goes to the Steelers, deep bombs to Claypool all day. That's why I would. I don't care if Jameis Winston throws 40 picks. I don't care if the Steelers are good. All I want to see is a semi-decent offense with the skill players that they have right now. It's an absolute crime that they don't have a gunslinger back there. And don't get me wrong, love you, Ben, but Ben is washed up. Love Ben. He's perfect for what. Well, not really perfect for what they need. If the defense was really good, which the defense is not very good right now. But I would love to see a gunslinger out there with the wide receivers, the weapons that they have right now. Jamaal Williams or Kareem Hunt? Jamaal Williams. If Swift doesn't play, who should I fire out? McKissick, Amir Abdullah, or Sony Michel? Oh, gosh. None of them, Angel. Oh, God. If McKissick plays, I would go with McKissick, though. Does Emmons and Cook play this week? I don't think Cook does. I think Emmons does. Trade Zeke for Gibson, Mooney? I would, yes. Oh, not my upset pick. I wish, but they're going to win, man. Just bummed to see them again. They're like the Yankees. They are like the Yankees, huh? They're like the Patriots. Always winning. Always winning. Always a good team every single year. Don't matter who they have. Don't matter about the players they lose. They're just a good football team. You got the greatest coach in NFL history. So always winning. Should I trade for an RB or just start James Conner? No, I would just start James Conner, yeah. Nick Chubb, Jamar Chase, or D-Hop at flex this week. Play Rams, great work. Personally, I would go with Nick Chubb. Do you think Russell goes to New Orleans, New York Giants, or Denver? Well, the biggest thing with Russ is that do they actually trade him? Because he's not on a contract year, I don't think either, right? I think that he still has time left on his deal. I could be wrong, though. Let me double check this. Next year, yeah. Potential out, they have $26 million in cap if they release him. So I really don't think that this team trades him. That's $26 million even if they trade him to the cap. They probably offset some of the money. And I'm assuming like the team would probably do like kind of like a cash deal a little bit. I think that they can do that in the NFL. I could be wrong. I think they could do that. I think that's what happened with Wentz, is that they paid part of his salary. But I don't think that the team trades him. I think that Russ is stuck there. The other guy that I was thinking is Derek Carr. If they decide to move on from Derek Carr, I doubt they do. But he's another player that would come into play here. Because next year, he's dead. There's no cap hit there. There's no cap hit for him if they release him, which I don't think that they release him. But if they're like, we're going to totally rebuild, I don't think that they do, but in the off chance. Denver's D or Carolina's D? I would go with Denver's defense. All excellent man marries to the woman. All good men are picked first by women music. What? What should I do with Zeke? I would play him this week if Pollard's out. Absolutely. Yo, Tyler, it's horribly cold where you live. I know in upstate New York, it's always freezing. Yes, it is. Outside today, it was like 20 degrees. I mean, I don't know if that's terribly cold, but it was cold today. Lots of people saying Carr and the Browns next year. I would love Carr and the Steelers. I'll tell you what. I would love Carr and the Steelers. Do you think the Steelers have playoff chances, and what quarterback do you think is next up? I think they have a playoff chance, certainly. They're kind of in it, but I kind of hope they don't make the playoffs because I don't think they're any good. But the next quarterback up, I really I've said this on stream. If you want to draft a quarterback, okay, but I'd rather that be like plan X. I'd rather that be plan Y. Okay, plan Y is to draft a quarterback. I'd rather than just sign somebody a little band-aid, even if it's like a Jimmy G, even if it's a Jameis Winston, even if it's, like I said, Marcus Mariota. Just sign somebody for a year because 2023 is going to be a much better draft for quarterbacks. Whatever. Don't be that good this year. Or try to make a big move on, Aaron Rodgers Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr. Make a big move on one of these guys. I would love to see them do that. If that doesn't happen, if you don't do that, whatever. Next, one of the quarterbacks I named, Jameis Winston, those guys. Y plan is to draft a quarterback. Z, absolute Z, is to go with Mason Rudolph. If they go with Mason Rudolph, I'm not watching a game next year. I'm not doing it. I'm not watching Mason Rudolph. You can take that and clip that because I'm not watching them. CEH Freeman or AJ Dillon? CEH. How did the Rams get better and somehow got worse? I just think they're molding right now. They're melding, I guess is what the correct term. Melding. They'll get there. I had CMC. I'm down bad at running back. McClassfree. Yeah, I never heard that. That's pretty good. Threw me 2 years in a row. That's pretty funny. Sending James Robinson really depends on who you have. Who should I be targeting to trade Devonte Adams for? I mean, definitely like a top tier play. Just look for a team that needs a running back and try to trade him off to that team. If you could add one player to the Steelers, if it could absolutely be anybody, you could take the contract and everything. Who would it be? Patrick Mahomes. Definitely Mahomes. Riding with Mahomes. Could you imagine the Browns with Deshaun Watson? Oh, I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it. I think Deshaun Watson's so good. Antonio Gibson this week, fire him up. Depends on who you have, but absolutely really good play this week. Freiermuth or Conklin? Freiermuth. And real quick, if you haven't already, if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take over to my YouTube channel. So come on over, get your questions answered. If you're over on YouTube right now, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, I will say this, I haven't said it at all tonight, but if you enjoy hanging out, and you enjoy talking to me, consider signing up to be a member. It's as low as $2.99. You can sign up to be a member. Help support the channel, but also number one, help support you as well because you get your questions answered 100% of the time. So anytime you have a question, you ask that, you get your questions answered. Sign up to be a member, ! Membership is how you sign up. You click on the link. It'll take you to sign up. Once again, as low as $2.99. There's also different tiers, different things that you can unlock, but consider signing up. Also Patreon. You can check me out over on Patreon as well. Over there, you get my rankings for as low as $1. So consider signing up. To get Deshaun Watson, you have to mortgage your future. You do. But I would say if there was no legal situation, I would say it's 100% worth it. I don't care if I'm giving up 4 first-round draft picks for Deshaun Watson because with Deshaun Watson, you have him for the next decade. Quarterbacks are playing for such a long time right now, so yeah. You said what you wanted to say. You wanted to say Dak, Tyler. I mean, I would love for the Steelers to have Dak. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who do you think wins the Super Bowl this year? I honestly think Tampa Bay. I hate to say it, but I think Tampa Bay repeats. I think it's a boring thing to say Tampa Bay, but I just think they repeat. Who do you think, or who would you rather have as the Steelers quarterback, Burrow or Herbert? I think it's pretty close. I would rather have Herbert personally. I'd go with Herbert. J-Rob worth a start? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it depends on your options. I think he's worth a start, though. Start or sit P. Ryan? I mean, I would sit him if Joe Mixon's good. I have Chubb, Mattison, Swift, and Gibson. Ooh, that's really good. I would go with Mattison and Gibson. I agree. The legal issues scare me still. Absolutely. Should I start Gibson, Mattison, and Chubb? I would, yeah. I don't think that Swift is going to play this week. I might have to be a member. I'm in here all the time. Not pressuring anybody to sign up, but, if I'm going to be live throughout the offseason as well. So if you ever want to come and chill, I'm going to be doing different things in the offseason. I haven't totally decided what I want to do. Obviously, I'm still going to be making fantasy football content, but I might do some other things too. I haven't decided what I want to do. I'm going to take a week off after the season's over and really think hard about what I want to do. What do I want to do? Because I think that as a content creator, I have a lot of potential. I really do. When I work hard, I think that I'm pretty decent over on TikTok and figure out trends and making the trends relatable to fantasy football. I think that I need to make more original content. I'm kind of like, I don't want to say afraid to put out my original content. Just I don't know exactly what I want to do with it yet. But I think as a content creator, I have a lot of potential. And I think that I don't know exactly what I want to do yet. in terms of content creation for the wintertime. Definitely still fantasy football will definitely be there, but I also want to do something else. You should stream on Twitch, man. I honestly have been thinking about it. I have been thinking about it. I might play some video games on Twitch and try to grow a Twitch community as well. And have both YouTube and Twitch. I might just do it on YouTube personally. Might just do it on YouTube. I don't know yet. I got to think about it. What do you think about Tom Brady on the Steelers? I mean, I would love it. I don't think it's there. I think that when Tom Brady is done on Tampa Bay, he's going to go back to New England for a day and retire. I think when he's done with Tampa Bay, he's just going to be done. You going to Walt Disney World? You going to Disney after the season's over? Nah. I've been to Disney once, and I got to say, that was good for me. Although I guess I would like to go to the other parks. I really only went to Magical Kingdom. I guess I would like to go to the other parks, but personally, it just way overpriced, way too crowded, way overhyped. I guess I have kids, so it's more for my kids and not me. But still, like I went to Universal. Now that was awesome. I loved Universal, but once again, Disney was like, it's just I guess if I was a kid, I would have loved it, but like, I don't know. As an adult, it's just like, gosh, it was hot, overpriced. Everything is so expensive there. Too many people. You got to pay the extra money to be able to really ride rides over there. Also, you can't. Hey, bro, just got back from work. How much longer are you streaming for? Not much longer, honestly. Probably like 10 minutes or so is what I'm going to be doing. What is this? I don't know who this person is. Like, I'm putting them in timeout. I don't know what they're saying. Tomlin, Rodgers, bromance. Yeah, I would love it. Do you think Najee is top 5 running back? Not in skill wise, but top 5 in fantasy, absolutely. Any word on Mixon yet? Not yet. Michael Gonzalez, what did you say? Steel City Angel. Yo, Steel City Angel. I like the name. Interacts. You're the only fantasy football TikToker that actually interacts the majority of the time. I try to. I definitely try to. And I've been pretty bad as of late. Because I will say this. I'm an Italian guy. All right, I'm an Italian. So Italians are very, very hot-blooded, right? No, what's the correct term? Hotheads. They're hotheads, okay? They're hot-blooded, warm-blooded. They're hot-headed, and I am a hothead at times, I will say. When I see a comment, I think that somebody's trying to like personally attack me, I'll go back at them. So I have been staying away from the comments so I don't go after people, and I try to be as respectful as I can. And I just kind of go into my tendencies here a little bit where I'm like, yo, what are you saying? What are you saying about me? You think this take is stupid? Well, I think your take is stupid. So I try really, really hard not to do that on TikTok. So I try to stay away from the comments for that reason. But I do like answering comments. But I also hate that TikTok is horrible where you post a video, you get something wrong, everybody goes back to that video, flames you for it. Where if you get something right, where this week my start and sits were pretty solid. I did have Damian Harris as a sit, but literally everybody else hit that was a start. So it's kind of like, I guess it was a loss, but whatever. But nobody will go back and say, W's. But if I make a wrong call, that L's. TikTok is horrible for that. So I try not to go back and read the comments. Rank your top 5 fantasy quarterbacks. My top 5 fantasy quarterbacks are Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott. And we got, Kid Trickster becoming a starter. W's in chat. W's in chat for Kids Trickster becoming a member. W's in chat. Yes, he had one good play that made his week relevant. Yes, but people will never look at that. So W's in chat for Kid Trickster becomes a member, gets his questions answered 100% of the time. And I saw that he asked something early in chat. If you could have a beer with any Steelers player, who would it be and why is it Mason Rudolph? Definitely not Mason Rudolph. I don't think Mason Rudolph's a bad guy. I mean, I'm sure he'd be cool, but if I could have a beer with one Steelers player, I would say Big Ben. I would say Big Ben. I mean, I would say. What about Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers he's at 6. He's at 6. So right up there. You're always giving me L or W's even if one doesn't pop off. Overran does well. Appreciate it. Thank you. I put a lot of time. I put a lot of time and effort to it, so I try. So is Jake Fromm starting for the Giants this week? I don't know who their starter is. Is it going to be Jake Fromm? Is that who's going to be starting? They're prepping them to start. Yeah, so it looks like it. It looks like he's going to possibly be the starter. What if he has a really good week? What if they win? Godwin, Aiyuk, Higgins, Gallup, Metcalf, pick 2. I would go with this is going to change, all right? If Higgins plays, I'm going to go with Higgins and Godwin there. But we got to see if Higgins plays this week and what practice looks like. Why isn't he top 5? Who you're talking about Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's just like, who do I put him over? Like for season long, I had these guys higher than Aaron Rodgers, and just like better match. Now, I will say that he probably would be over Justin Herbert if these wide receivers are going to be out. I will say that, and I probably will move Justin Herbert down my rankings, if Keenan Allen is out. But as of right now, I'm not doing it. But if these wide receivers miss, if Keenan Allen misses, he would be over Justin Herbert this week. Is Jamaal Williams even worth a start? Yeah, he is. Just depends on who else you have. Yeah. You should play PGA 21 instead of the dude breaking his back. I should do that. I should bring that back. I agree. I might do that. I just hope the Browns give Chubb 20 carries like he should. I agree with that. They should give him a bunch of carries. He's a stud. I think he's, honestly, I've said this many times. I think he's the best pure running back in the NFL. Best pure running back. Taysom Miller, Dak this week. I would go with Dak. Barkley, Aaron Jones, or A.J. Dillon, pick one. I would go with Aaron Jones. Guyton or Aiyuk. I would go with Aiyuk unless both these wide receivers are out. I would go with Guyton, but otherwise I would go with Aiyuk. Conklin or Seals Jones? Seals Jones. What do you think of the trade? Justin Jefferson, James Conner, and Miami's defense for Fournette, Jamar Chase, and Cowboys tight end. I think that's a solid trade. I think that's pretty fair. Thoughts on Jarvis Landry rest of the season? I like him this week. I like him this week. For the rest of the season, kind of mad, but for this week, I do like him. Bro, is Mike Williams playing? He apparently got COVID. No, I don't think he got COVID. I'm pretty sure he had contract. He's in the contact tracing. So he didn't have COVID. He was, around Keenan Allen, who has COVID. So as long as he doesn't test positive, he should be good to go this week. Godwin, Aiyuk, Higgins, Gallup. I already got that one. What do you think about Deontay Johnson this week? Love him. Honestly, borderline top 5 wide receiver for me this week. I love Deontay. Put Aaron Rodgers over Lamar Jackson, bro. I can't. I just can't. I can't do it. It's kind of like how I'm slowly, moving Saquon down every single week. Going down. It's just the massive ceiling there with Lamar Jackson. I really don't like Lamar Jackson a whole lot this week against Cleveland. I think the Browns are going to win, but I just can't sit Lamar. Tyler, you better hope to be good this year. Santa will get you a Rudolph jersey for next year. Oh, my gosh. That would be, I was going to say that was going to be good for when I smoke. I would, use it as firewood, but that would not make any sense because that jersey would probably, what would those jerseys burn like? Probably horribly. Awful. I wouldn't burn it though. I would keep Mason. Mason, if you're watching, which I'm sure you're watching, I wouldn't do that to you, my guy. All right? I wouldn't do that to you. I did like when you got a little feisty with Myles Garrett. You stood up for yourself. Good for you. Van Jefferson, Osborne. I would go Van Jefferson. Is Jamaal Williams over Chubb, J-Rob, or Patterson? No, he's not. I would go with those other guys. How do you feel when Lamar overthrew Mark Andrews? Yeah. How do I feel? I will say he got pressured, but the biggest clown moment for Lamar was definitely I think it was the first drive of the game that Baltimore had. And then he steps off his back foot and just lobs that shit in the end zone, and Minka's just right there and, picks that off. That was a big clown moment from Lamar. That was horrible from Lamar. Would you drop Myers or Mitchell for Freiermuth or Jarvis? I would drop Myers. I would drop him for Jarvis, personally. Guyton if Lamar and Williams don't play, or Jarvis. I would go with Jarvis. Schultz, Fant, or Jared Cook? Schultz, James Conner, or Cordell Patterson? James Conner. Or Cordell Patterson, as long as it's PPR. Chubb or Aaron Jones this week? Aaron Jones. I'm going to keep your league, but I was wondering, so do you think Najee Harris would be a good keeper next season? Absolutely. I think Najee Harris should easily be a top 5 running back next year, depending on the quarterback situation, but he should be a really solid one. He stood up to Myles Garrett and got a dent in his head. He did. But at least he stood up, all right? I end up giving up on Jacobs. Not sure how I feel about it, but no room on my bench because I got Chubb and Saquon. Giving up Jacobs. I really like Jacobs, but hey, you do you. Always, at the end of the day, it's your team. You make the call. I'm benching Lamar for Stafford until I see some consistency. That's fine by me. Go for it. I think it's close, but I feel you. I do think Stafford has been really solid, though. Miami blessed Pittsburgh with Minka. They did. I think at the time, everybody hated that trade, but for me, I was like, dude, I love this trade. Steelers have not been able to draft a defensive player in the first round. They're terrible. Artie Burns, a defensive back in the first round. I don't know if I said that. But Artie Burns, Terrell Edmonds, I don't think he's going to be very good. You had them. They drafted Sean Davis. Where's he at? I don't even remember who he's playing for. I did see him a couple Sundays ago. He was on TV. I forget who he's playing for though. I got Keenan Allen. Oh, okay. You traded. You did the trade. Okay, that's solid. Hands down, favorite defense player, Minka Fitzpatrick. He's a stud. I love Minka. Love Minka. I would probably say TJ, but I love Minka. I love the effort. Minka misses some tackles here and there, but I will say about Minka is that he tries. That dude is always trying. It does not look like Minka ever gives up. I mean, he's second on the team in tackles. He might even be first right now. I don't think he's first. I got to look at this. Steelers stat. I know last I checked he was second. He could possibly, he might still be second. Yeah, Joe Schobert's first. But how sad is that? That your safety has 2 less tackles than your middle linebacker. And he has more solo tackles. Yeah, safeties should have not that many tackles. He should not be almost first on his team in tackles. That's sad. That shows you how bad they are. I got Keenan Allen. Oh, I already got that one. Thoughts on Vikings coach Mike Zimmer? I think, are you saying, if he's going to be going? I think if this team misses the playoffs, I think he's probably should go. Honestly, he should probably go. Maybe they give him one more. Make it your favorite safety? Absolutely. Who do you think is on the hot seat right now? Who do you think is the first coach to get fired? I think he could definitely be one of them. But who do you think is the coach that's going to get fired first? Steelers are going to take the dub tomorrow. Let's go. I agree. Steelers taking the dub. Here's my team going into week 14. Josh Allen, Chubb, Patterson, Terry, Guyton, Muth, Prater, Broncos D, Muth or Komet. I would go with Muth. Matt Nagy. Yeah, true. Matt Nagy would be a good one. I forgot about Matt Nagy. He'll probably get fired first. Look at everybody saying Matt Nagy. That is true. I totally forgot about Matt Nagy. Yo, everybody's saying him. Look at that. Thoughts on Devin Bush? I think that Devin Bush has been pretty bad this year. But I will say this about Devin Bush, all right? I mean, Joe Schobert has not been that great either. I know that has more tackles than Devin Bush, but watching the film, misses so many tackles. But I will say this, the defensive line is horrible right now. I know that Cam Hayward, he's awesome. Love Cam. He's been really good this season. But missing Tyson Alualu, also Stephon Tuitt not playing this season has been a massive blow to this defense. Wormley's been, not very good, to be honest with you. The defensive line over the past, this stretch of games has constantly just been getting pushed back into the linebackers. Like, the linebackers aren't really able to step up and fill gaps because they're constantly just getting lost in the massive push on the defensive line because there's no defensive line. So, but Devin Bush has not been very good. But I will say, also, I am going to make the excuse for the lower body injury. It does not look like he's totally making the effort, and I think that at times he's still hesitant with that knee. Next year, we'll see what happens. But he has not been that great. Giants are probably the worst team to watch, though, so maybe Judge, that could be another one. How do you feel about CM or MCDC Motor City Dan Campbell? What is MCDC? Because he's the defensive. I guess that's what it is. Or Dan Campbell, I guess that would make sense. I don't think that Dan Campbell is going to get fired this year. I think he walked into a really bad situation. They're going to give him another year at least. If this team doesn't make improvements, maybe then. I don't think he gets fired this year. Top five wide receiver skill set, not fantasy wise. I would say definitely, Tyreek Hill, Devonte Adams, obviously, Stephon Diggs. Who are some of the other guys? I mean, DeAndre Hopkins would still be up there. It's really tough to say. It honestly is, because a lot of them do really so many good things. I would still go with the OGs though. Who would be 5? I mean, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'd have to actually look down and look at it, but yeah. Tyler, I have Cordell Patterson, Monty, Javonte Williams, Henderson, and Mattison. Start 4, sit 1. Thank you. I also have Sony Michel. I would sit. Oof, that's a lot. I would probably sit Henderson if he's healthy. But it's really close. Micah slammed this one Jacksonville player over and stood over him. Micah's a beast. Does anyone else, this Dan Campbell, look like the principal from South Park? You think Matt Rule is on the hot seat? I think it's getting hot. I don't think that they fire him, though, personally. I don't think that they're going to fire him. Actually, like Dan Campbell, Lions play hard for him. Not sure about his coaching ability, but the players love him. Yeah, I definitely think he'll be given another season. I don't think they're going to move on from him. Is Elijah Mitchell going to play? If not, who's his backup? I would say JaMychal Hasty would be the guy you want. Put JJ in your top 5. Trust me. True, JJ. I would really have to sit down and look at my top 5. And really, that's tough on the spot to say who exactly. JJ for sure is looking like it. Absolutely. Urban Meyer, I don't think that Urban Meyer could be fired. I really don't think he could. Not yet. I feel like the Lions have the most heart out of any team, and I find myself constantly rooting for them. They do play hard. They've been in a lot of close games this year that they should have won. They have been playing hard. And they're not a very good team. Honestly, they're not that bad of a team. I will say that. Like, the offense is horrible. Don't get me wrong. Like, your actual... If they can get a really good wide receiver this year, obviously upgrade from Jared Goff, I think this team has real potential. I don't think that the defense isn't very good. Don't get me wrong. The defensive secondary isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be this year, and your defensive line isn't absolutely horrible. I do think the defense actually is better this year. Their offensive line is really solid as well. They're missing their center, but their offensive line is really solid. I think this team has potential. I really do think they have potential. If they can get a playmaker, a wide receiver on the offense side of the ball, and get a better quarterback, I do think this team improves a decent amount. Did you ever watch the self-revive? No, I didn't. I need to watch that. I'm going to put it up right now, and I'm going to watch this. I will watch this right after this. Self-revive. Who is it, OBJ? PD. Let me see. I'm gonna watch it right now. Ad. What? Content is not available? What? Let me see this. Self-revive. Oh, that's funny. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that from Odell. I like that. Chances Robert Aguayo gets signed after the season's kicker. Yeah, is he even still playing anymore? Has he ever been like on a tryout recently? I haven't heard anything. Steelers should build up offensive line and D line in the draft. Absolutely. That's what they definitely need to do. That's what I say 100%. Your offensive line is horrible, has not improved. You definitely need to get guys on the offensive line. Defensive line needs some work. You need some cornerbacks. They should not have let Steven Nelson go. I don't know what the whole situation was there with Steven Nelson. They're trying to save cap space, but if you're going to try to save cap space, well, you better spend it. They didn't spend it. So that was completely stupid, in my opinion. Steven Nelson was playing really well. But you need cornerback, you need defensive line, offensive line. And then, really, once again, like I agree 100%. Maybe you want to draft a quarterback later in the draft and see if you can groom them a little bit. But personally, I would sign a quarterback. How many points do you think Deontay Johnson and Najee will get? Honestly, I think they're both top 5 guys. They're borderline top 5 guys. So I would say, like, honestly, they could get 17, 18 plus. Right now, I'd say right around 18. I made a bet with my girlfriend that Jags were going to make the playoffs back in April. I was so high on them, but I think they're more talented than their record. I do. I think that this team, there's been moments where they flash, but I do think that the team is, I think they're, it's hard to say with the Jags. I got to really watch. I haven't watched a whole lot of Jags game this year, but they do have some players, but I definitely think that they're still missing on some guys. Like, I don't think that the wide receiver core is that good. I know that Marvin Jones has been pretty solid throughout his career, but I don't think he's that great at this point in his career. Not to be a wide receiver one. They're just lacking a true alpha wide receiver. I would start Herbert over Stafford. Correct? Is that what you're supposed to say? Me personally, I would go with, if these wide receivers don't play, Keenan Allen doesn't play, I would go with Stafford, personally. Julio or Osborne? Julio. Who is the better for the last few weeks, D-Hop or Chase? I would go with D-Hop. Is Hillard to go to RB2 this week? I wouldn't feel confident, honestly. Who to bench, Aiyuk, T, or MG3? I would bench Melvin Gordon. How many points do you think? I already got that one. I could pull up. I don't have my projections up. DJ Chark is good. Yes, he is. But he's been, missed the season. He's all right. I wouldn't say he's all right. You think Jamar? I think he's good. He's okay. He's better than what they have now. Absolutely. You think Jamar Chase or T Higgins rest of the year? Honestly, I'm going with T. Who is better the last few weeks, D-Hop or Chase? Chark was their go. How do you think Kareem will do this week at Flex? I think he'll be okay. Tyler, do you ever watch Undisputed or The Herd or any of those guys? No, I don't. Honestly, I don't watch those guys. I haven't watched them in years. I don't like listening. I honestly really try not to listen to anybody other than people who I think are very good at fantasy football and try to take another perspective on their takes for fantasy football. I've talked about him a lot. But Josh Larkey, if you guys don't follow him, I highly advise you to go follow him. He's over on TikTok as well. He's trying to get going on TikTok, but he's over on Twitter. Twitter is definitely like his main platform right now. But Josh Larkey, he's really good for the analytics of the game. Big believer in analytics. He's the analytic dude over at Player Profile, so does all their analytics over there. He's a guy that I really highly respect in fantasy football. So I listen to what those guys say. Obviously, I disagree with them, but I want the real guys' takes. Stephen A. Smith, phony, big fat phony out there. Who's your favorite team besides the Steelers? I mean, always the Steelers. If the Steelers left the NFL, I would say not the Cleveland Browns. Sorry, I would say the Buffalo Bills, just because my grandpa was a big Buffalo Bills fan, and he took me to. He had season tickets, so when I was younger, I literally was going to like every single Buffalo Bills game every single week. Watched Doug Flutie, Bruce Smith, Molds, all those guys. Went to their facility, checked it out, everything, their practice facility, all that kind of stuff. So I would say the Buffalo Bills. Hiller, Dak. Deontay and CD over all those, or no wide receivers you named in the top 5? Over who? Who were you saying, Landy? Deontay over who? and CD, I would say they're definitely like on the up and up for sure. I would have to really look at it. Yeah, he's not a wide receiver one on a lot of other teams. I give you that, but he's a solid. I agree with that. Do you think Mahomes, per Brady will win, or if so, which one is more likely? I would say honestly Brady. I would say that team's probably going to win again. I honestly really think it's going to be the Chiefs and Kansas City, unless Patriots